Oh man, I didn't sign up for this. We're doomed.
Not so fast! Here comes Warhorse!
Let's get him, Warhorse.
Hey, hope you brushed your pubes today, Albert, because we're about to go balls deep.
All right, Warhorse!
One horse can't win the war.
No, but E.T. might even the odds.
He who giveth life can also take it away. Ouch.
But I thought aliens were supposed to be cute and cuddly.
Not anymore. Killer aliens are big box office.
They ran out of ideas for fresh new shows, so Hollywood did the only thing it knows. Murphy Brown, Melrose Place, Gilmore Girls lost in space. That's so Ravens what they're craving.
I know that's a show worth saving.
I vote X-Files for a comeback.
Your company's still a real snack.
Would the Golden Girls be darker if we resurrect B. Arthur? Reboot it, renew it, reshoot it, redo it and reuse it, retool it, abuse it, just spew it. If you want to make some easy cash, just recycle and rehash. Repeat it, reinstate it, reheat it, recreate it. There's no need to feel frustrated, simply just regurgitate it for a guaranteed rating smash. Dig it up.
Welcome, adaptationists, which is not really a word, to Geek Salad's episode 265, guaranteed to be just like you remember. Not a guarantee. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
And tonight we are talking all about adaptations from movies and TV and video games that completely missed the mark. You went to play darts with your friends, but you decided to tie on a couple beforehand, and look where we're at now. So, yeah. So, we're going to be talking about that. I'm currently on our social media pages right now, just putting a link in there. So if you are a regular listener, if you just got something here saying, oh, by the way, Geek Salad is broadcasting, come join us in the chat. We want to know what adaptations you feel also missed the mark. I thought this was a fun topic. Joe, you were the one who brought this up, actually.
Yes, because I have thoughts. God damn it.
Oh, I'm a man. I have thoughts.
I have feelings.
I have dreams.
You selfish sons of bitches.
You took my dreams away from me. Anyway,
yeah. So we are going to be talking all about all that fun stuff. And you know what? I think I would honestly be remiss if, Joe, you didn't kick us off. This was your idea, so I'd love to know what. All right, what is the genesis?
Oh, it's fun. It's a couple of things, but the one that really got me, that just kind of just twisted my craw, was the adaptation of World War Z.
Oh.
In a world where zombies have already infected every facet of pop culture, comes another zombie movie. But this time, it's got Brad Pitt. World War Z. Get ready for the big screen adaptation of the best-selling novel that's got everything you loved about the title and nothing else. A film with so many production problems, people were genuinely surprised when it wasn't a complete disaster. Meet Jerry Lane. He's just your average, everyday, super attractive, scarf-wearing, Spanish-speaking, airplane piloting, sharp shooting, skull-bashing, armor crafting, arm chopping, prisoner interrogating, surgery doing, slow-mo vision having, antidote making, eagle-eyed, stay-at-home dad.
Okay, so a little background. World War Z is a novel written by the son of Mel Brooks, Max Brooks.
Yep.
And I read it shortly after it came out. I read it around 2000, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And by then, honestly, I was kind of really tired of the zombie genre.
Yeah.
Because you started seeing it everywhere in video games. Every video game, no matter how quote unquote realistic its premise, had to have a zombie, like DLC or something like that. And it's just like it was just getting so overplayed and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I picked up this book just on a lark, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll see if this changes anything. And it did. And the reason it did is because the full title is World War Z: An Oral History of the Zombie War. And it's written as a kind of a report of what occurred during this war. So when I'm reading it, in my mind, I'm playing it as a Ken Burns documentary.
Yeah.
or a Civil War documentary. My dearest Mildred, it was a rough day on the front today, kind of thing. And it sucked me in with it wasn't about the zombies. The zombies were just kind of incidental to the whole story. They're really just like, yeah, this is the reason, but this is actually what the book is about. It's about human interactions, what would happen, the hubris of humanity to think it can survive something like this. So when I saw World War Z, imagine my shock.
Yeah. It's very different.
It was nothing like that. Well, apparently J. Michael Straczynski wrote the original script for it.
Okay.
And apparently it got leaked and back around when the movie was in development, and the buzz around it was stupendous. They said that the script was going to rewrite the entire zombie genre and would make what they essentially thought was an impossible to adapt book adaptable. Okay. Well, the script that finally came out wasn't the one that J. Michael Straczynski wrote. And I've tried to find a copy. I've tried to find a copy of it, and I cannot find it anywhere. What JMS wrote. And if anybody knows who J. Michael Straczynski is, he is the creator of Babylon 5.
Babylon 5.
Yeah.
And he wrote some of the best Spider-Man comics from the early 2000s. So yeah, but what they did is they turned what could have been a very engrossing kind of story into just another zombie action movie.
Yeah.
With the beautiful leading man who can do no wrong. The only tangential kind of connection it has to the book is that, yeah, he works for the UN. All right.
Yep.
But
yeah,
that's
he
it.
he travels around witnessing everything. And I haven't read the book, but I listened to the audiobook, which is a full cast audiobook.
Oh, I heard the audiobook was supposed to be stupendous.
It's fantastic. I haven't listened to it recently, but you have Mark Hamill as the soldier guy character.
Oh.
And he does
they
a
had
great job.
Simon Pegg is in it and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I want to download it and start listening to it.
Nice.
But yeah, it's like
I think I listened to that one like as an audiobook through my library.
And the thing is that, like I said, I had a vision of when I was reading the book, I had a vision of what it could be and what the potential for it was. And it definitely would have been better served as a television series than a movie. Or a miniseries.
There are a lot of books like that. Yeah, there's a lot of books like that.
Yeah, and I think today that would be something that could happen. They're more open to TV series now.
The problem is this book was essentially The Walking Dead before The Walking Dead became a thing.
Yeah.
So it'd be and I think to myself, well, in the day of modern day prestige television, somebody with enough talent could probably pull it off. But it's always going to be, just because of the basis of the story, what the story deals with and what the book deals with, it's going to get compared to The Walking Dead.
Yeah, to the Walking Dead and The Last of Us.
And The Last of Us, and to a certain extent, 28 Days Later, and the 28 Days movies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, by the way, are not about Sandra Bullock going to rehab, by the way, just so you're aware.
Yeah, that's 28 days. 28 days later is something different. And that's not technically zombies. That's a range virus, but yeah.
Yeah. And so, Joe, let me ask you the question that always drives me nuts about zombie movies. Do they actually use the term zombie in it?
I don't remember it. I can't remember just because it's just like, and it's kind of one of the things like, they made the song in the book. The zombies are scary. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But
like, people go to frozen places because they can't really move where it's super cold.
Right. But the thing is, then they suffer the consequences of going to someplace cold because they didn't prepare for it. They think, it's just like. But in the books, they were scary. But in the movies, they made them unrealistic. Yeah. Like in the book, there's still the kind of shambling kind of, there's no rhyme or reason to what they do. In the movie, they gave them sort of like being able to coordinate and they're fast. And it's just like, they just turned it into a generic action movie, which there was so much missed potential. And again, because of all the media that's come afterwards, I don't know that anything would be able to do it to the book true justice.
And the movie, by the way, it barely broke even. It made like $550 million, but the budget was so high that that huge box office didn't do anything.
Well, it was in development hell for a long time.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt wasn't even supposed to star in it originally. His production company just wanted it, but he wasn't going to star in it. And then they somehow talked him into doing it.
Yeah. So. Last act of a desperate studio.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
it's a shame too because there's plenty of books that are it's impossible to film. The Lord of the Rings movies. Mike and I talked about the other day, LA Confidential. LA Confidential is, if you've ever read the book, it's impossible to adapt in that to the text, but they found a way to do it.
Right, and that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. It's like this book isn't impossible to adapt. They just adapted it wrong, in my view. The only thing it shares with the book is the title.
I know for the longest time, The Princess Bride was considered impossible to film.
Yeah, yet they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. You don't hear anybody complaining about that movie.
Yeah, well, they got William Goldman. Yeah, William Goldman knows how to adapt his work for the screen.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons.
I wonder.
What was that?
Well, I wonder why they didn't call Max Brooks to help adapt his book for the screen.
Well, who knows?
That's an interesting question.
You think the son of Mel Brooks and Anne Bancroft might have some knowledge on how to work the, write a script?
Well, it's not like it's the first screenplay that William Goldman wrote based on one of his books. He did Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid kind of knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. No, he's done several. So, well, Joe, thanks for starting us up. You know what? Mike has been really quiet during this conversation on World War Z. I'd like to hear from Mike. Which one of your adaptations?
Well, I will start with one that I was so excited for. I saw it in theaters, and it took all my willpower to not run out and start ripping the seats apart. That was Dragon Ball Evolution.
After 42 volumes of comics, 18 movies, and 15 seasons of television, one live-action adaptation will ignore everything people loved about the Dragon Ball franchise in America's biggest insult to Japanese culture since Hiroshima. Dragon Ball Evolution. Prepare for Fox's half-assed attempt to cash in on their expiring rights to Dragon Ball. It's an adaptation that steals from everything except the source material, featuring elements of The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, Twilight, and The Last Airbender.
Shallow crane strike is the most basic of all the airbending techniques.
Oh, come on.
Ugh. Talk about something that's going to be near impossible to adapt.
Oh yeah, something that absolutely killed any plans on adapting anime for the big screen for a long time.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we got One Piece now, which is fantastic. But Dragon Ball Evolution, not so fantastic. I mean,
that movie killed some careers too, didn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, first off, did any of them actually ever watch a single episode of Dragon Ball? Because I mean, they took Goku, and first off, they cast Justin Chatwin as him, not any kind of Asian guy. They made him a little white boy, and they made him a high school student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Goku's son in Dragon Ball Z went to high school. Goku never went to school. He was a little toddler. Like he was probably like 10 years old or so when he went on his big adventure. And here they aged him up to like 18 because, you know, they can't have a little kid doing all this, I guess, or whatever. I mean, it gets some of like the points of the anime, but none of it really kind of shows any kind of love for the original. It's like you took the script based on the original one, but you never used any of the like feelings or emotions or heart of the original series, and so it just ended up being just this paint by number adventure,
thing.
action adventure thing with Chow Yun Fat.
They just hope if they slap the Dragon Ball name on it, it's going to print money. Not really.
Yeah. And Goku just couldn't stop eating and eating and eating.
Oh yeah, no, nothing to do with the food for all of this. It's I don't know, just they add in a whole lot of just really unnecessary things.
Yeah.
They cast Jason Marsters as King Piccolo, which whatever. It's just it just fails on every single foreseeable level. Especially for someone like me that actually enjoyed Dragon Ball Z for what it was.
So
it's not a great show, but
I remember this era, this part of the mid to late aughts being like the soulless adaptation made by people who had never watched a single episode of whatever. Because do you remember Thunderbirds?
Oh God,
yes.
Yeah.
Directed by William Frakes, actually.
I know. You had that. You had even Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah.
Because
2010.
Yeah.
At the time, no one could tell.
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan Ding Dong. No. you know that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm Shyamalan Ding Dong. I can do all this. Okay, whatever.
You know, the funny thing about that is too, that one came out in 2010. He hadn't really had a good movie since depending on what your mileage is for Signs, hadn't really had a good movie out since at least then.
No, Signs is awful.
That's the Lady in the Water and The Village are just like, people should have been telling him no a long time ago. What's a twist? I'm not a genius.
Signs was good until like the last 5 minutes. You realize, oh, this is bullshit.
I like The Village, but I'm not oversaturated in Shyamalan. So
okay,
of the Shyamalan movies I've seen, The Village is still my favorite.
Avatar: Last Airbender came out in 2010.
Yeah.
Wow, the year after Dragon Ball Evolution. So yeah,
nobody learned.
Nobody learned.
Well, it's also, how would you know?
Plus, for a movie based on like one of the biggest anime of all time, this movie made $56.5 million worldwide on a $30 million budget. It bombed big time.
And that includes marketing for the price.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they marketed the shit out of this.
Which is weird because I had to actually go back to IMDb and look it up. Like I remember World War Z coming out. I did not remember Dragon Ball Evolution until I saw the poster on IMDb.
because they've tried to bury this one so deep that it never sees the light of day again. Rightfully so.
Oof. All right. Well, Katherine.
All right. We're going to start with the first theatrical release Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Go.
In a faraway world,
All people deserve to be free and equal.
The child is not fit to govern an empire.
the forces of darkness, you can control dragons. With the dragon army at my command, I can crush the Empress.
This has got to be some twisted magic experiment gone seriously wrong.
Have threatened to conquer a kingdom.
What can I do to stop Profion?
If you can obtain the Rod of Savril, you could control red dragons.
I suggest we lay low, let the whole thing blow over, come back, rob everybody. There's one small problem. Problem? I kind of committed us to find it.
Saw that one in theaters.
Saw that in theaters.
Yeah.
Oh, you fool.
You paid movie money for that, huh?
Yeah. That came out in 2000. And after I got out, I left the theater and I'm like, well, the good thing is that you get to see a Wayans brother die.
Well,
But,
I just watched the Scary Movie 6 trailer, so good on them.
God, it was so bad. Like, you can't even, it's not even like camp bad. You know, like, I've mostly, except for like Tom Baker being an elf. Tom Baker. Old Tom, not look like an elf. And I'm sitting there going, elves are magic. Oh God, it's so bad.
It is so bad. So bad.
It's not fun either. I mean, that's the thing about Honor Among Thieves. It's a really fun movie.
Right.
Well, the reason because Honor Among Thieves captures the spirit of playing a D&D game.
Yeah. Honor Among Thieves was great.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
It wasn't. It didn't take itself too serious.
Yeah.
The problem with the Dungeons and Dragons 2000 movie is it tries to take itself seriously as a high fantasy movie, which it is not supposed to be.
Right. And considering, like, this came out in 2000?
Yeah.
Wow. I seem to remember coming out later than that, but I'm definitely wrong. So pre Lord of the Rings.
CP had a whole bunch of D&D movie knockoffs on it that were actually called Dungeons and Dragons, so that came out like during the 2000s.
Yeah. Like I was double checking that it came out in 2000 because I could have sworn I saw this when I was still in college.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, that's, you know, it's, and I was like, wait, what?
I would have seen this while I was in college, actually.
I guess I saw this. Yeah, I guess I might have gone to see it with some LARP friends or something. But, you know, and that's why I've got that nerd vibe of going to see this with nerds. But yeah, I really thought this was an older movie.
Wow. Yeah.
And then you think that Lord of the Rings came out the next year.
Yeah. Exactly. Ugh. Good Lord. Yeah, I have not seen this one. I heard angry things about it, so I'm like, I'm just best to avoid this one.
Yeah, don't.
Yes.
Don't waste your time.
Don't do this to yourself.
Let's be honest. Mid to late '90s to early aughts fantasy was pretty much hit or miss. Like very much, you either hit or you completely missed.
Yeah,
they missed a lot.
Yeah, and then Lord of the Rings changed everything.
Yeah, and of course, Lord of the Rings had been filming for a while. Was in filming because they were. Like,
oh my God! Can you imagine how nervous Warner Brothers must have been when Dungeons and Dragons bombed?
Oh God! Well, fortunately, they had it hidden under New Line at that point.
Yeah,
because let's face it, Lord of the Rings at the time is a very niche kind of.
Yeah.
You know. franchise. You know, anybody mentioned Lord of the Rings in the late 90s, early aughts, you kind of look at them like, oh, God, it's one of them.
Yeah. Oh, man. That's rough. That's rough.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
All right, I'm gonna take over here, and I'm gonna move us away from movies for a second, because sorry not sorry, I do not like the Star Wars adaptations of the NES the Super Star Wars games at all. Fuck those games. They should not be. First of all, they should not be that hard if all they're going to be are side scrollers. Secondly, I want to play Star Wars. I don't want to play essentially a Mario game where, I'm fighting things that aren't in any of the movies, dealing with lands I've never seen before, or areas of said planets from the movies I've never seen before. I just want Star Wars. And it's not like those games didn't exist back then.
I mean, they did, but you couldn't really do the games that you wanted on the SNES. It didn't support the hardware, just wouldn't support it.
Oh, well, yeah, because I'm thinking of like the Star Wars trilogy game that came out for Sega. That was like the arcade trilogy. Yeah. I totally understand the computing power of an NES or even the SNES handling that. I totally understand that, but it's not like we didn't have other Star Wars games, so they could have done other variations of Star Wars games. I mean, hell, the Atari 2600 had Star Wars Arcade. So it's not like, they couldn't do something. Even it didn't have to be like Vectrex like an Atari game, but they could have done stuff where everything isn't a side scroller. There are plenty of Game Boy games even where you are flying a ship and trying to avoid stuff and yada yada.
You know what's weird is that
and don't forget, Mike, Super Nintendo gave us Star Fox.
Yes.
Can you imagine a Star Fox style game, but instead in the Star Wars universe?
I mean, in a sense, they did. I mean, because Star Fox invented that. What was that? Phase 7 or Mode 7 graphics, which Super Star Wars did use in the when you're flying like the Millennium Falcon and X-Wing. What was I saying is that it was kind of weird when I saw the list, the outline for this episode here, and I saw that you put those games on the list, Andy. I had just the day before watched a documentary on YouTube about that trilogy.
And was it the one where they were talking about how they had to do like the extra layering to make it move properly? And
well, it's like, yeah, and how they had the rights to the movies, but the hardware could not support it, so they basically just kind of made a fun action adventure, very difficult game using those characters just to kind of give people some kind of experience that they couldn't get in the movies. And it gave me a kind of a new appreciation for the games, which I still enjoy. I love those games back on the SNES. Do I think they're a good adaptation? No. Do I think they're fun games? Yes.
They are gray cartridges of lies.
Oh.
They are motherboards of lies.
They are hard because they wanted to make it so that if you actually did beat the games, you had a sense of achievement, because there were no achievements back then.
Didn't they say also those games were more expensive than, like, they were usually about $10 more than most of the other games on the for the consoles at the time?
Yeah, because they were.
That Lucas licensing.
Yep.
Man's getting his money.
Yep.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, that's all I got to say about that. I'm sure that'll have, come at me, nerds. Come at me.
Before we move on, I want to throw another licensed property title on the NES bus of pain.
All right.
When I was talking with my husband this evening as I was getting ready for the show, he also listed the Simpsons NES games.
Oh.
Ooh. Oof. Oof. Oh my god.
Yeah, for me, the Sims, outside of like Krusty's Funhouse game, you didn't have a good one until like maybe Simpsons Simpsons the game, or maybe what was that
No,
Grand Theft Auto one?
No, it was it was modeled off a Crazy Taxi for the Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah,
It was a Dreamcast launch game.
What was it called? I gotta look.
Yeah, but Catherine, I agree with you on the Simpsons end of the NES games because it came out so early in the Simpsons like evolution. It's almost like there's this parallel universe of Bartman and Smithers being a major villain and all this weird shit. That
you're not agreeing. You're not agreeing with me. You're agreeing with my husband because I have no idea.
Okay. Well, it's funny because I got an emulator. I recently got like a plug-in HDMI emulator, and a bunch of those Simpsons arcade games are on there. And I'm just like trying to explain it to my kids who are massive Simpsons fans. It's like, yeah, no, there was never a season where Bart could fly.
That never happened.
Oh, I am so glad that we got away from the don't have a cowabunga Bartman, do the Bartman era of the Simpsons, and they decided we should focus on Homer.
The Simpsons Hit and Run.
Simpsons Hit and Run, yes. It's funny because I can see the box art very clearly, but I couldn't remember the name of the
The Simpsons Hit and Run was a good one, and the Simpsons game is just called the Simpsons game. It's for like Xbox 360 and PS3. That was a really fun one too. But beyond that, not.
Yeah,
they're very, very weak.
So, anywho, all right, Joe, back to you.
All right, my next one, and I think Mike will agree with me on this one, is the 2021 Netflix live-action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop.
So what brings you back from the dead?
A week ago, I did a job, a bounty. I had a partner, believe it or not.
He know what you used to be? Will I ever see you again?
They tried to kill me, Anna. If you need to find me, I go by Spike Spiegel these days.
I was excited for it until I heard the first reviews. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I won't watch it after all.
Well, Cowboy Bebop is like one of the seminal animes of the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And all original story, which is unheard of nowadays because most anime right now is based on a manga or some other property. And I was excited when they announced the casting, especially of John Cho as Spike. And but it was I couldn't make it beyond the first 3 episodes. I was like, oh, this is so sad. And I honestly thought, okay, this is the end of Western adaptations of any Japanese media because holy shit, that was bad.
Yeah, that was kind of a 1-2 punch where that one came out, and then right around the same time, they did that Americanized version of Death Note.
Yes.
And that was awful as well.
So it's hard to put into words what a disappointment it is. Because there was a lot of excitement around it, too, I remember. And people were like, oh, yeah, with the Netflix money behind it and everything else, how can it fail? And they say they're going to stay true to the anime, and nope. They whiffed on every count.
Yeah.
Wait. I heard that the soundtrack was good.
Well, the soundtrack. Well,
touche, Catherine. Touche.
Thankfully, they did not change the soundtrack. Or they used the original soundtrack. So
that is the same compliment I gave Tron Ares. The movie sucks. The soundtrack is okay.
Yeah, what I remember from Jordan talking about it on Knowledge Fight was that they got the same guy to do the soundtrack for the live action that they had for the original, and so it might have been some new stuff, but it was by the same person.
Yeah.
So that was the good part. It wasn't everything. One part was fine.
Okay.
Yeah, but honestly, like I said, after that debacle, I thought, well, until I saw One Piece, One Piece, I was like, oh, then no one's ever going to want to touch anime ever again, outside of Japan, because they adapt anime all the time into live action in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not just anime. My husband has found a stage production of Yakuza that he can watch on YouTube.
The video game, yes.
The video game.
He must be so happy.
Oh, John regularly sends me images from the live action stage plays of Sailor Moon. Very, very popular. In fact, a few years ago, one of them actually toured the U.S.
I wonder why it's so popular. Do people like to sit in the front in a very low section?
No. Sailor Moon is how my girlfriend and I met. So,
okay.
No.
And Sailor Moon is very sapphic, Catherine.
Yes, it is actually. Well, unless you consider them cousins, quote unquote.
Cousin. Yeah, well, that's if you're watching Toonami, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, two of the main characters were actually in a lesbian relationship, but the dub, because back in the late '90s, early 2000s, they couldn't have that, so they made them cousins, which is so much better, right?
Yeah, it works so much better.
Yeah.
Kissing cousins.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Very literally.
It literally takes place in Mississippi. All right.
Those are my thoughts on Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it. I heard awful things about it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Well, now I'm going to go with, much like with the Super Star Wars games, they were bad adaptations, but I thought they were fun games. I'm going to go with another one. It was a very bad adaptation of a video game, but a really, really fun movie, and that was Uncharted from 2022.
I've been dreaming about this my whole life. And the giant's gold. It's the biggest treasure that's never been found. 5 billion, easy. So when do we start?
Yeah, put that in your ear.
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. I'm sitting right next to you. Your brother believed that there was a final piece.
But you know my brother Sam? What else aren't you telling me?
You have no idea who you're partnered with.
Sully, hurry! It's gonna take a little longer than I thought, kid. I assume we're 50-50, right?
50-50? You get 10%. That's me being generous.
Wow.
Yeah, you and I talked about this one.
Yeah, we reviewed it for the channel.
Yeah.
There's no reality where I think that Tom Holland is Nathan Drake or that Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch was a Sully. So, but if you can get past the fact that it's called Uncharted and they're supposed to be the characters from the video game, the movie itself is actually really fun.
Yeah,
I agree with Mike on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched this at like Christmas with my parents one time because it's like okay, we're gonna hang out after dinner and watch something on whatever, some streaming thing or something, or a DVD we have, and we watched Uncharted, which I'd never heard of, and it was fun. And then we get to a part where there's clearly a scene where there is a guy featured, and I'm like, this is a cameo. Who the fuck is this guy? And so I like bring out my phone and I look him up, and that is Nolan North.
Yep.
The voice of Nathan Drake from the video games.
Yep.
Is on the beach. It was like, oh, Okay, this is based on a video game. Sure. Okay.
And I love the video game series. I am a big fan of Uncharted. I played.
But the thing is, Catherine, if you ever watched the scene like screenshots from the video game or anything like that, the main character Nathan Drake looks awfully a lot like Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. For the longest time, they were going to make an Uncharted movie starring Nathan Fillion, but then that just got in development hell for so long that Nathan Fillion kind of aged out.
And but it's funny, right? A couple of years before the movie, the official movie came out, didn't he do like his own like little fan?
Yes, he
made
did.
a fan film of Uncharted.
He made fan films. It's actually really interesting because, to Mike's point, it was on, this movie was in development hell forever. It was a shit show on it. Turns out I actually met one of the screenwriters from the original drafts of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I met him on a cruise last year. And it was just like, wow, oh, that's that Tom. Okay, I know Tom. And yeah, he obviously is not the one that got made.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, if you just
it is a fun movie.
Yeah, if you just take the movie as it is without like kind of considering there's a video game adaptation, it's a really fun adventure movie.
Right.
I'm actually hoping for a sequel because I had so much fun with it.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen now because no one wants to work with Mark Wahlberg, and they
did try to set up a sequel, but
but what I liked about the movie was, to Mike's point, it's a fun action film, very reminiscent of like a modern day Indiana Jones. There are definitely scenes in it you could tell it's based on a video game like when they're dropping all that cargo out of the plane and he's got to jump from one crate to another. That is so totally part of the games.
Yeah.
That's a quick time. That's a quick time event in the games.
Yeah. But the thing is that fans wanted, they wanted Nathan Drake. They didn't want Nathan Drake the Wonder Years.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And again, they were expecting, Nathan Fillion, at least a Nathan Fillion lookalike.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the toughest part of adapting a property like a video game, because it's already a visual medium that plays with reality, that comes as close to reality as you can get. That is like when something doesn't quite match to your expectations, like it takes you out of it.
Yeah. And you think about sorry, Mike, go ahead.
Well, it's like, because Tom Holland looks nothing like Nathan Drake from the movies. I mean, they didn't even try and make him dress him up to look like Nathan Drake. And Mark Wahlberg, except for that last final scene where they gave him the cheesy mustache. But other than that, he does not look like Sully in the least. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think basically what they were banking on was the fact that Tom Holland is a gymnast and can do a lot of those crazy stunts.
Which I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. When you think back and you look at what makes a very successful video game based movie, and look at they almost always have to be animated. I mean, look at the Mario movies. That first movie made bank because it was, first of all, Nintendo had their thumb on that movie. Nothing got past them. Even Sonic, and I know my unpopular opinion is I don't like the Sonic movies at all because I find that the character of Sonic is highly unlikable. They are practically animated movies in and of themselves with their, with all the characters. And, again, I just can't sanction Jim Carrey's buffoonery, but,
and I mean,
I can't condone his buffoonery, but that's what makes successful video game movies.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of animation, like the Castlevania animated series on Netflix, that is absolutely fantastic. And it matches up with the video game.
Even though I really think that they should make that 8-bit, but they're cowards. He just whips the sword straight out. Just straight out swords. Whip, rather. All right. Katherine, you're up next.
All right. The next one I'm going to go up with is the movie Contact from 1997. It's an adaptation of the Carl Sagan novel that I love very much.
Hey, Dad. Do you think there's people on other planets?
I don't know, Sparks. But I guess I'd say if it is just us, seems like an awful waste of space.
Go for main engine start. T-minus 10.
We aren't always meant to know the reasons why things happen the way they do. Sometimes we just have to accept it as God's will.
9.
Our job was to select someone to speak for everybody.
8.
There's no reason to believe that their intentions are hostile.
7.
You, Ellie, you personally.
6.
And by doing this, you're willing to give your life. You're willing to die for it.
5. Main engines.
I did not know it was an adaptation.
I sold billions and billions of copies of it.
It's a wonderful book. I discovered it actually in our high school library.
Really?
Yeah, it was in our high school library. And I own a copy now, and I haven't reread it in a long time. And there were like a couple things they changed for the movie. It's a thick book. Carl Sagan wrote it. It's a thick book. And there were some things that they adapted for the, it was written, back in like, the 60s or 70s. I'd have to check my copy to see the copyright. And they did some changes to bring it up to the modern era, which I was like, okay, this makes sense. We're bringing it, there's a billionaire character who is, somebody's breathing really heavy.
That's me. I'm sorry. It's my health issues. I should really address this at every episode. Like, you hear the heavy breathing. It's Andy.
Yeah.
It's not some creep. It's just Andy.
It's just a little distracting being right in my ears the way it is. Okay.
I apologize.
So, it's fine.
And what are you wearing?
Okay, so reset.
Well, I gotta put myself on mute.
Good night, everybody.
And scene.
The original like billionaire character made his gazillions by inventing a device for televisions that was called Adnix, which whenever ads came on the television would just mute the TV until the television show came back on, and then would turn the volume back up. And then, of course, because this movie comes out in 1997, it's an early internet billionaire. And the guy is constantly on an airplane that's perpetually flying. He almost never lands because he is, back then, it was just, we didn't have, like, blood and, juicing freaks from the internet billionaire set. We just had a guy that was like, well, when you're flying, you're further from the gravity of the planet, and so therefore you age less quickly.
Yeah, we had Howard Hughes.
Yeah, we had normal people.
We had normal crazy billionaires.
Yeah, exactly. Wearing tissue boxes on their feet and keeping their jars of urine and things. Now what do we got? We got white supremacists who all want to live on Mars.
Yeah, and breed insanely with Epstein children. But anyway, we used to be a proper country where we just had normal insane billionaires. So anyway, and I knew that they were going to have to cut some things back because it is a thick book and it's going to be a movie. But it was just, I didn't like how they did it. They cut back the wrong things, and it was just, I was like, I was going through a period where I thought Jodie Foster could do no wrong, and then I was like, I'm done. I am done.
Yeah, I saw that one in theaters.
Yeah, no.
It was like what, like 2 hours of build up for like 15 minutes of something happening, and then wrap up.
Yeah, it's a very quiet sci-fi movie, but no. If you're interested, if like the concepts vaguely interest you, read the book. The book.
I'm not gonna read Carl Sagan. I'm sorry.
No, this is his fiction. It's not tedious. There's no
It's
billions.
Yeah, it's not his university textbooks, Mike. It's a fiction work of fiction.
No, it's a really I think it's a really good work of fiction, but it is high, science fiction written by a science guy. So if you prefer big booms, don't bother.
I mean, I always prefer big booms.
Okay, but if you like
I like big booms, and I cannot lie.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you can appreciate the other kind of sci-fi. And there's also a lot of themes of like feminism in there, and stuff, and that was kind of interesting, and also like relationships, because this was around the time, there was that woman that he fell in love with, and they like just didn't really, they were like falling in love, and like his romance and marriage is such a sweet story. And he works some of that kind of feeling into Contact. Of just like discovering a person that you love so much.
Interesting.
If you don't know the story of him meeting his wife, it's amazing, and them being like they were working on the Voyager probe, like the whole gold record and everything.
Oh my God, I love the story of the Voyager probe.
And they didn't realize that they were falling in love until they went, "Oh, we're getting married."
Oh.
And, they hung up on the call, and then one of them called the other back and was like, "Oh wait, we're getting married, right? Yes, we're getting married. Okay." And they lived happily ever after.
But did they work on V'ger? That's the question.
Nah. So yeah, read the book, skip the movie.
Yeah. Okay. It's funny you bring up the book and everything like that, because there is a movie coming out, adaptation of a movie coming out in about 2 weeks, getting amazing reviews right now on Rotten Tomatoes. Project Hail Mary. I am really looking forward to that one. I love the book.
I was dubious. I do love the book. I didn't like what they did with The Martian.
Yeah.
They missed a lot, but I did watch one of the trailers for Project Hail Mary, and I'm like, okay. I did
love The Martian.
The book.
I know. We've talked about this.
Yeah, there's so much missing from that movie.
It's still good.
But I don't hate it. No, it's terrible. There's so much missing. From the movie, there is no point where the people on Earth are like, "Man, he's still alive. I wonder what he's thinking about. It must be really hard up there." And then they cut to Mark Watney, and he's like, "Aquaman can talk to fish, but somehow he can also talk to whales. This makes no sense." And that's not in the movie. They cut all of his internal dialogue from the movie, and that's what makes the book so great. And
yeah, well, we're dealing with a completely different creative. Here's the thing: we're dealing with a completely different creative team for Project Hail Mary. It's Lord Miller. Yeah.
Also, he has somebody to talk to.
That's true. He's got Rocky to talk to.
He's got Rocky to talk to.
Yeah, and there's also the disjointed narrative, which I'm really hoping they're keeping in.
It looks like they are.
Big part of it. That is a huge part of it. So
yeah,
I am so looking forward to seeing that movie.
I'm not sure I'm going to see it in theaters, but I'm going to watch it.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, one I missed in my prime years of being a nerdy teenager that I finally watched from beginning to end a few months ago. 1987's Masters of the Universe.
Relive the first terrible movie based on action figures. That's also the kinkiest terrible movie based on action figures.
Kneel before your master!
The safe word is cringer. Masters of the Universe. Eternia is in peril, and only He-Man can save it in this adventure that brings together all your favorite heroes from the Masters of the Universe cartoon. Except for Battle Cat, She-Ra, Stratos, Ram-Man, Zodak, or Manny Faces. Oh, come on, not even Orko? How hard it would have been to paint Gwildor blue and hang him from the ceiling? But at least your favorite villains are here, like this butter carving of Skeletor, Evelyn, Beastman, ugh, pass, Pirate Flash, Football Lizard? Who are these people? They couldn't get Trapjaw in there? He's easily as dumb as Football Lizard. I mean, come on. But at least they have all your favorite He-Man locations, like the majestic throne room of Castle Grayskull. And, wait, that's it? Alright, does this movie have anything to do with He-Man? Or is this whole thing going to be about Courtney Cox's dead parents?
From Canon Films, Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella.
Oh my God!
What the? There is no amount. There is not a prescription of nostalgia goggles strong enough for me to understand the appeal of this movie.
There's no appeal to it.
No, are you kidding me? I know plenty of people who are like, "Oh man, that movie's awesome! I watched that movie. I watched shit out of that movie when I was a kid." Yeah, when you were a kid. Nothing about the movie makes any goddamn sense. I understand it's an interplanetary battle. Then why the hell is their big, like their prized warrior dressed in a loincloth when nobody else is? Everybody else has got like high-tech weaponry and stuff like that. He's got, I got my sword. Not even the sword of power, just a sword.
A sword.
Frank Langella looks like crap. I'm sorry. I know that people are like, well, the makeup didn't look that bad.
Yes, it did.
But we're talking about adaptations. Okay, we were talking about adaptations. We had at least 5 years of toys and cartoons and comic books that they could have leaned upon, even taking the thinnest of all of those to satisfy Canon's meager budgets, because there are parts of this movie where you can tell they had to run back to investors because they ran out of money.
Yeah, because they used it all on Blow.
Oh my God. Yeah, well, they had to have.
Blow and strippers.
So Blow and strippers. And, I will give them credit. At least Beastman looked okay. He looked okay.
Okay.
He looked as close as I think that we were lucky enough to get with Beastman, considering they couldn't put any of the other Skeletor flunkies in the movie at all.
I mean, Blow, strippers, and the oil for Dolph Lundgren's manly pecs.
Oh my God. He is truly awful in the movie too, which is like, it's just like, I understand, he's a big beefy dude, and Rocky 5, Rocky 4, I will break him. It's just, everything about this movie looks and feels cheap, and it also felt like, hey, we can keep going for like 10 more minutes, right? We can just keep this movie. Let's just get the story going. Oh my God! Why is every Earthling the most annoying person in the world? And how do they manage to find a little character that is more annoying than Orko?
That takes effort.
I know Canon was still reeling from paying Stallone like over. I think they paid him like $10 million for Over the Top. Because they thought, hey, what can we do? He's arm wrestling. Americans love arm wrestling, right? Right, Menachem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we show tits in this children's movie? No, we can't, Menachem. Ah, damn it. I want to see She-Ra's tits. Not She-Ra. I'm sorry, Teela. God, all the women have the same name. Evelyn. Oh, my God. This whole... And I'm like really concerned now about that new one that's coming out, because I really feel like it's all nostalgia juice. And I'm just like, of course. It looks better. I'll give it that. It looks way better.
Well, I mean, it could be all nostalgia juice, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they don't hit it out of the park.
Exactly. I have to give it the benefit of the doubt. This isn't Tron, or more specifically Tron Ares, also starring Jared Leto.
Yeah. I knew you'd be bringing up Jared Leto.
Suck diddly-ucks.
Somebody was going to. He's gonna jinx it. But
Yeah, well, hey,
honestly,
you know what?
I think it's partly the nostalgia juice for the new He-Man movie, and also the fact that they get to have Adam have a nameplate that has his he/him pronouns on it.
Yep, exactly. So
because He-Man.
Hello, review bombing. Oh god, the whole thing. I mean, Joe and I are convinced that that studios only hired Jared Leto in case the movie fails because that's their form of insurance fraud.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was
actually talking with my coworker. We were looking at the last maybe 10, 15 years of Jared Leto's movie career. He really has way more bombs than he has successes.
Not a hit among them. He won an Oscar. Here's the thing. He won an Oscar in a supporting role for Dallas Buyers Club with one of the other most overrated actors of our generation, Matthew McConaughey. Sorry, not sorry.
And he hasn't really had a success since.
No. Even you can't give him credit for Suicide Squad.
Nope. God, no. No, that movie bombed.
Yeah. It made some, not a lot of, but some money.
And are you talking about?
I'm talking Suicide Squad, not the Suicide Squad, not the
good one.
Suicide Squad. Yeah, not the good one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
and I mean, in fairness, I thought Haunted Mansion was actually a really good movie, but
in spite of,
yeah, but as the main villain, I thought he was fine.
Okay.
Mainly because I didn't really see it was him. He was just mocap completely.
Okay, and that's what I'm hoping with this new one of him being Skeletor. Maybe they'll just get somebody. Maybe they'll get Frank Welker to do the voice again. Who knows? But yeah, the '87 adaptation. I finally was like, oh, it's on Tubi. And it accidentally started playing after another movie, so it was sitting in my continue watching, even though there was less than a minute in. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna watch it. Oh boy, it is. I can't believe canon doesn't exist anymore. I can't believe that their last movie was Lambada, the Forbidden Dance.
Oh my god, damn.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's shake this off. We each have one left. Joe.
All right. For my last one, and this one is infamous in pop culture, and in my view, set the template for why all video game adaptations based on movies are so bad. And this is E.T. for the original Atari 2600 from 1982.
Oh my god! I have heard stories of them bringing Spielberg in, him pitching an idea because originally they wanted a Pac-Man style game, he didn't, and then they just handed him a bag with a big $sign on it. So
they only had 5 weeks of development so that they could ship the cartridges for Christmas in '82.
Oh
yeah! In this case, I don't blame the video game makers because they did the very best that they could have possibly done with
for 6 weeks. Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous.
It was so bad. And it was such a commercial failure. It led to the video game crisis of 1983 that basically almost destroyed the American video game industry.
Right. I do want to, I don't feel like it's getting proper credit, but Atari's Pac-Man also had a hand in that as well because they made twice as many cartridges than there were consoles because they thought people would buy an extra console to play Pac-Man.
Yeah.
That's Pac-Man.
I mean, it's so infamous that it led to an urban legend that Atari buried all the unsold cartridges.
Well,
Yeah.
But legend if it proves to be true.
It turned out to be true.
Yeah, they took it up.
Look at that! Hey.
But the reason that I say why it set it became the template for bad video game adaptations of movies is because you very rarely see a good video game adaptation of a movie, and it's for the same reasons that E.T. failed. No development time, no quality control, just cash in on what you can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just cash in on the movie and hope for the best. You know, in a lot of cases, studios are not even bringing up their minor league development teams. They're going like kids fresh out of college, out of programming school.
Yeah. Well, the thing is also is that now, E.T. kind of came out of nowhere. Nobody expected that movie to do well because, well, first of all, we didn't have the internet. They couldn't really test buzz for it. And the only thing it really had going for it was from the director of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Jaws. So
Yeah,
I can understand.
It had so little buzz that's why M&M's wouldn't allow them to use their product, and that's why they have Reese's Pieces.
Yep. They scraped a lot of bodies off that sidewalk after that movie made it big. The Mars M&M people lost a lot of good people that day.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they did.
Ah, damn it. Here's another one. But, yeah, no, I mean, because you look at adaptations of... Yeah, we are. But you look at adaptations of movies to video games now, or even, like, back when they were still making, like, really shitty adaptations of stuff, at least they had lead time and they came out in tandem with the movie, as opposed to this, which was like, we need to hit that Christmas rush. It's a summer movie, you say? Oh, not a problem. It's just a video game, Michael. How long can it take to develop? 6 weeks?
6 weeks? Okay.
Well, I mean, now, like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 years. I mean, how long have they been working on Elder Scrolls 6?
Oh God! Well,
yeah,
Skyrim
not
came out
based on a movie, Mike. Yeah, exactly. That movie, that game actually has got some quality supposedly built into it.
Yeah.
No, this is Bethesda we're talking about. There's no quality.
No, my bad.
Quality microtransactions.
Now, there are some video games based on movies that are solid. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah,
I will say a couple of the Spider-Man games were pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Couple Lord of the Rings movies games were okay.
The thing about the Lord of the Rings games is that they don't really take place concurrent to the movies. They take place in the Tolkien universe, but they're not, and they're tangential to the movies, but they're not based on the movies.
Yeah, but they're profiting off the movie popularity.
Oh, they're profiting off the movie, yes. Yeah.
But and even stuff like the Two Towers, the PS2 Two Towers game was a direct. Essentially, it's here are the scenes from the movie. Play them.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, but still, E.T. is infamous. Yes.
Infamous. That's the kindest way to put it.
Yeah, exactly.
That means more than famous, right?
It's infamous.
It's infamous.
What does that mean? Infamous.
Oh, Dusty. Infamous is when you're more than famous.
Yeah, I gotta wonder now. This is a good question, and I don't think we have anybody in our chat right now, but I'm really curious. If you were a video game company and you were releasing a game for a Christmas release that all the children of the world are going to ask for, and then be horrific, so disappointed by it, it scars their childhood, what would that game be?
Good question.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Exactly. I'm sure that there's some incel out there saying anything with a girl without big tits in it.
I mean, you can make a video game based on maybe Friday the 13th and release on the original NES. I'm sure that's going to be a record to print money, right?
Hey, my E.T. the video game on the Atari 2600 is xenophobe on the NES.
Oh.
Birthday money pissed away. I've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Don't part a 14-year-old from their birthday money and make a shitty game out of it. God damn it. All right, well, I'm angry now, so I'm gonna pass this over to Mike. Mike, what's your final adaptation that missed the mark?
I'm sure this one's going to be a bit controversial, but The Shining.
Based on a Stephen King novel Stanley Kubrick threw in the trash, comes an iconic piece of horror cinema.
Here's Johnny.
That was probably scary before it got parodied to death.
Here's Annie. Here's Larry.
Here's Clowny.
Here's Ozzy.
Here's Heifer. Here's Johnny. Don't.
The Shining. Sit back, way back, for 2.5 hours of Kubrick's signature style that's either a masterclass in building tension or kinda boring. In a film that's largely made out of the same 3 shots. Characters staring at the camera. Characters pulling a crazy face. Or characters wandering around. But hey, everything feels creepy when you put that score under it.
It shouldn't be called the Stephen King's The Shining. It should be called Stanley Kubrick's The Shining because it has the characters from the book, has the setting from the book. There's very little of the actual kind of.
Yeah, some of the plot beats, but
it shouldn't be called The Shining because The Shining has absolutely jack to do with the actual movie. the only thing The Shining does in the movie is get Halloran back to the hotel to be killed 5 seconds later.
which doesn't happen in the book.
No, it doesn't.
Nope.
And literally the only reason why you would want to get Halloran back there just to be killed was so that Wendy and Wendy and Danny. Yeah.
Danny, yeah.
Wendy and Danny would have a vehicle to get away with. That's the only reason. And other than that, there is no reason to have any. There's literally no supernatural in that movie. It's just the hallucinations that Jack is doing while he's drinking.
Yeah, it's Jack's psychosis. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with the hotel, nothing to do with any ghosts or anything like that. It's just Jack being drunk and off his ass and seeing things.
Yep.
And let's face it, if you see Jack Nicholson back in the late 70s, early 80s, you're like, yeah, you know what? If he's trapped in a hotel, he's going insane. He's going to kill somebody.
The 90s, the 2000s, and the 60s.
Yeah. Basically, Jack Nicholson, period. He's like, you see him, you're like, you know what? I bet you if he was going to kill somebody, he'd be doing it a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
You see Jack Nicholson, and that's what you think.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that it's such a, in terms of an adaptation, it ain't great. It misses a lot of the beats. It's like getting a bottle of fruit juice and it says contains some juice.
Yeah.
Contains 2% juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Contains real fruit juice.
This The Shining contains 2% Stephen King.
What the fuck is natural flavors? But in terms of as a cinematic achievement, there's a lot of success there. Again,
it's fine.
It's a Kubrick movie, so it's you're going to expect some competency as a piece
you're going to get amazing shot composition and him delighting in mentally torturing Shelley Duvall.
I was going to say emotionally and mentally harassing Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not the biggest Kubrick fan. I think he's basically like an old timey Michael Bay in a sense. It looks fantastic. There's absolutely shit there.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
I know a lot of people are
right.
going to be mad at me for that, but it's
Well,
okay.
Stephen King agrees with you that it sucks.
Oh yes,
yeah,
no, yeah. Stephen King hates
and I have seen. In fact, I even own on DVD the miniseries that he helped write, and that is a much better adaptation of his book.
Yeah,
with Steven Weber, who, if you see Steven Weber, you're like, oh, he must have ghosts provoking him into murder, because there's no way he would do it on his own.
All right. Well, thank you, Mike. Katherine, you got one more.
All right, let's get classical. Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet.
Castle Rock Entertainment proudly presents Hamlet, the most celebrated drama in the English language, seen in glorious 70mm format, adapted for the screen and directed by Kenneth Branagh, with a distinguished international cast featuring Derek Jacobi, Julie Christie, Kate Winslet, Robin Williams, Billy Crystal, Gerard Depardieu, Charlton Heston, Jack Lemmon, Richard Attenborough, John Gielgud, and Kenneth Branagh as Hamlet.
Right now, this was released in 1996. Later this year, we can talk about why it's a bad movie. Right now, we can talk about why it's a bad adaptation of the play, because first of all, there was never, ever a production of Hamlet that was 4 hours long. They took, Kenneth Branagh wanted his version of the movie to be taught. And so he took the mushed up version from every script of Hamlet by Shakespeare that they ever found. They mushed it all together. He cut nothing. It makes no sense. It's insane. And also, he just wanted to fake bang Kate Winslet, who was, what, half his age? Ugh. But no, mostly this was never the play that Shakespeare intended. It's bad. It is bad. I hate it.
But didn't he use this as kind of the launch pad to become the quote unquote Shakespeare director?
No, that was Henry V. That was Henry V.
That was Henry V.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, this is like his fourth or fifth adaptation at this point, because after Henry V, there was something else in there. I know he also did that Dead Reckoning movie, but he also did Much Ado About Nothing,
which I love.
And there were a couple of others in there.
Yeah, no, he was.
Well, but yeah.
Yeah, no, he was. Well, this is the thing: was that first of all, he shed his Irish accent because he's Irish and he was afraid of being judged, so he adopted a fake accent. First of all, second of all, and then he goes and does goes into the Royal Shakespeare Company, and he gets the glorious red book that is passed from Hamlet to Hamlet, and he is anointed as the next Hamlet, and he held on to that book for decades because he just wanted to be Hamlet so bad. And then he makes this movie, and it is just and they have Ryan Blessed as the ghost of King Hamlet, and they take Brian Blessed, who has a beautiful voice, and they make him whisper. He is only allowed to whisper. And I keep getting away from the fact that the adaptation sucks and just going off about how the movie sucks. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That's okay. I'm actually looking to see. This might have actually been his last Shakespearean adaptation.
Oh no, No, it was not.
No?
This
Okay.
one, in fact, directly after this, 4 years later, he did Love's Labor's Lost.
Yep.
And
Okay.
after
There
that,
it
he
is.
did
Yep.
As You Like It.
As You Like. Right. Okay. So he was still doing them.
Yeah.
We just started really seriously ignoring them.
I can't believe he directed Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit.
Oh God.
I'm like on his IMDb page right now, and it was like Henry V, Dead Again, Swan Song, Peter's Friends, Much Ado About Nothing, Frankenstein. You want to talk about a bad adaptation? Holy
not Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
That's well, according to IMDb, it's I got what you're saying.
The new one is good.
Yeah, Midwinter's Tale, Hamlet, Love's Labor's Lost, and then he went and did IP, Cinderella, Thor, Murder. He did all the Agatha Christie stuff with Poirot.
Oh, he did that god awful Artemis Fowl movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but he won an Oscar for Belfast.
He was hired for Thor because they wanted that Shakespearean feel for it, and I think the first Thor movie was done well. Because that was what they were looking for, and I think that was done well. He did a good job with that, and I think partly is because he can direct, he can act, he cannot star in anything he directs. Like Much Ado About Nothing is one of the few exceptions.
Yeah, and Henry V. I think Henry V is one of his best movies.
Yeah, and Henry V is a very popular one.
You know what?
Yeah, he's.
I have a sucker for the Agatha Christie
Poirot.
movie. The Artemis. Hercule Poirot movies he's done.
Yeah.
Enough champagne to fill the Nile.
I thought Hunting in Venice was actually really good.
Yeah, but I think he's gotten old enough that he has a better sense of humor about himself. But like at that period, he was taking himself
way too seriously.
Yeah. Well, that's he kind of went self-biographical with Belfast. Won an Oscar for writing it, so he can cross that. I haven't won an Oscar yet off his list, so maybe now we can relax a bit.
Well, I wonder if it also. I wonder if it also kind of helped when he did what was in from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, yeah. Why am I forgetting the character's name?
Oh, bother.
Him.
Yeah.
Him.
Oh.
This is gonna drive me nuts now.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Thank Wikipedia.
Oh God, I forgot he was in Oppenheimer.
Yep.
Niels Bohr. Oh, my Niels Bohr swimsuit catalog has arrived. So yeah, I feel your pain with that.
Yeah, I curse him for making me prefer the Zeffirelli Hamlet with Mel Gibson and Helena Bonham Carter.
Oof.
Ouch.
And which I also like better than the Laurence Olivier from 1948, which is basically like the opening monologue that they add in was like, bitching about hesitation. I'm like, oh, it's from 1948. They're just justifying dropping the bomb on Japan.
Yep. Have you ever seen the Blackadder Millennium Special?
No.
It came out in 2000, and one of the Blackadders of modern time is traveling. He's kind of bouncing throughout time, and he actually ends up in the Elizabethan time, where they've got good Lord, Judy Davis playing Queen Elizabeth, but he's trying to leave, and the modern Blackadder leaves, runs into William Shakespeare, played by Colin Firth, and he sees him, and he punches him, and he goes, and that's for Ken Branagh's interminable 4-hour Hamlet. And then Colin Firth looks at him and goes, "Who's Ken Branagh?" I'm going to tell him you said that. He's going to be very disappointed.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, try to find that online.
Wow, I'm on the Hamlet's Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
And I didn't think this was real, but apparently it was. They made a spin-off video game based on Hamlet.
Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me, really?
I wish I was. It says the CD-ROM is divided into 2 parts titled To Be, in which the players can play as Hamlet in the narrative, and Not To Be, in which the players can read the texts.
Oh, God.
It's called Hamlet, a Murder Mystery.
It's not just Hamlet, a lot of murders. Does everybody die at the end?
I don't know. I just there's like 2 paragraphs listed on Wikipedia.
Have you ever seen the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged?
Yes, I've seen it multiple times.
So did the musical. She was in the
That's right.
school adaptation.
That's right. When they did Hamlet and then they did it in reverse.
Yeah.
And everybody just starts on the floor.
I've never seen it, but I do own a copy of the script.
I actually saw it live when they brought it to Fitchburg State when I was still going there.
Nice.
The one of the guys wasn't there, but the other 2 were.
Yeah.
And they
very cool.
Yeah.
And former guest host Todd Vikstrom was in it. We saw him a few years ago doing it.
Nice.
So, all right. Well, I'm going to close this out. Another literary adaptation that is an abject failure and the thing of legend. The Bonfire of the Vanities, 1990.
My name is Peter Fallow, the man of the moment, a toast of the town. But it wasn't always this way. Let me tell you how it all began. In the 80s, making money and living well was all that mattered. And no one did it better than Sherman McCoy. Now he was a master of the universe.
Calm, sorry, collated. Let's not lose our composure over a few $100 million.
No one could resist him. Not his mistress,
This could be the best sex we've had in a long time.
not even his dog.
It's raining and he's not happy about it, Mr. McCoy.
Here am I, Bill.
I, on the other hand, was a reporter in need of a story,
This is Peter Fallow, the has-been.
Oh, Shantae.
in need of a spark, which is exactly what I got.
Didn't know that was based on the book, honestly.
It was based on a very big. So Tom Wolfe was an author who primarily worked on like essays, and he wrote for publications like Vanity Fair and the New Yorker and all that, and decided to write a book of fiction called The Bonfire of the Vanities, which is it really is just kind of a balance of the wealthy whites commit a crime, how far can they get away with it before either they slip up or the justice system decides that somebody actually has to fall on their petard for that. The book itself is, I don't know if I would recommend anybody today reading it, because I haven't read it in over 30 years, so I couldn't tell you how horrifically dated it is, but I'm going to guess it's really, really dated. So when they got the rights to do the movie, they brought in top tier talent. They had Brian De Palma directing this thing. They got Tom Hanks, who is completely miscast as Sherman McCoy. There is Melanie Griffith, who is also horrifically miscast, and Bruce Willis, who was apparently the biggest pain in the ass on set.
I've heard that from multiple people.
It's one of these movies that not a role was cast well. Even Morgan Freeman, who plays the judge in this movie, was kind of brought in at the last minute because he was recently minted Oscar nominee for Driving Miss Daisy. But the judge in the original book is Jewish, and they had an actual New York judge, a very famous New York judge, who was going to do it, but he couldn't act. His screen test was awful. And they kept stringing him along, like, we're we don't know. We'll keep you posted if you're going to get in. And it's just colossal waste of money and resources. And I read a book about the making of this called The Devil's Candy, which is pretty much the textbook for how not to adapt a huge bestseller just to get a movie out there that you think, and they rushed the production too because they thought, oh, well, get out in December, get all the Oscar buzz for it. It did not at all.
What did not get out in December or did not get Oscar buzz?
It did not get any Oscar buzz at all. This was one of those movies that when it came out, it did so poorly in its opening weekend. Warner Brothers was just like, what did we throw all this money at? And De Palma was just, losing his mind over this because he's pretty much coming off of another flop in Casualties of War. And this is Brian De Palma, who really, I don't think had another hit until Mission Impossible.
Oh, God.
He needed a reminder that he actually directed the 1996 Mission Impossible.
I did need a reminder for that. Thanks.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. That's coming up this year, too.
Mission Impossible is 30 years old.
Yep.
Oh, no. I have to watch that for homework for our episode later this year. Oh, no. Oh, God.
It's part 1 as well because it definitely hit the top 10.
Yeah, I rewatched it again, not maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Some of the shine had come off since I saw it originally.
It's we will discuss further, and I'm sure Em will have her own thoughts on it. But back to Bonfire of the Vanities.
Yep.
Oof, this is just is the very worst that you could do to bring out a prestige movie. And let's be honest, December of 1990 was a bad year for prestige movies. Movies like Havana and The Russia House were also and even The Sheltering Sky all came out in that same month, and they were all supposed to be, these will be huge Oscar movies. And it turns out it ended up being Dances with Wolves, which
yeah.
Yep.
You want to talk about another bad adaptation?
Oh, God. Just what I needed a movie to be longer. But yeah, I watched this recently on YouTube because YouTube does the free movies, and it was very hard to get through. Melanie Griffith is awful. It's like she fell ass backwards into that Oscar nomination for Working Girl, but she is not a good actress. And you can tell when they did the reshoots because she had a ton of work done.
Isn't Melanie Griffith and Bruce Willis both ended up later having serious mental health problems or even not serious issues?
Not
Bruce Willis, we know for sure. I feel like Melanie Griffith did too.
Well, Melanie Griffith is, was a woman in her mid-30s in Hollywood. So there was going to come that time when it was going to be harder for her to get roles. She did everything in her power to try to keep producers interested. I mean, she had a lot of work done. She had a lot of plastic surgery done. What I'm referring to when you see the reshoots, she got a boob job.
Got it.
And then they called her back in for reshoots. At this point, other than Working Girl, her whole thing was that she remarried Don Johnson, and then they had Dakota Johnson. That's about where that ends. But she's not a good actress, especially in this
Dakota
movie.
Johnson was Don Johnson's
Yeah,
daughter.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Madam Web herself. And the less said about that, the better.
She's fine on her own.
Yeah, but it's just everybody in this movie. It's like there's a lot of you can point at the movie and go, that guy is in that movie, and that guy's in that movie. Kevin Dunn is in the movie. Saul Rubinek is in the movie, and it's like, okay, we've got all these character actors, and Tom Hanks is supposed to be like this, stockbroker, master of the universe. And it's Tom Hanks in 1990.
No, so he was still the goofy kind of, yeah.
He was still America's sweetheart.
He was the Burbs.
Yeah.
He was the Burbs Tom Hanks.
The Burbs Tom Hanks.
He was still a couple years away from Philadelphia and Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Yeah, ages away from that work.
Yeah. Oof. But yeah, it's If you need to have a bad movie night, I would highly recommend watching the film of The Bonfire of the Vanities.
Oh, come on. You can come up with a better bad movie for that.
I'm sure I can. I'm just letting you know if you want to just see money getting pissed away on your bad movie night. It's a prime example.
We've barely scratched the surface of bad adaptations because as we were talking, I remembered about the Beastmaster.
Oh Jesus.
Oh my God.
The 1982 film that took the title and a couple concepts from Andre Norton and threw the rest of her book out the window.
Hey, but because of that, with back in the 80s, that's what we all thought HBO stood for. Hey, Beastmaster's on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Did watch it a lot of times, and then my mom was like, "Hello, here is my massive library of Andre Norton novels."
Yeah, no, you knew you were going into a house with money if Beastmaster was on the TV.
Yep,
you knew they had HBO.
You have discerning tastes, good sir. And it's almost like that meme too. It's like, when I watch Beastmaster and it's him like fighting with the sword, when my mom walks in and it's Tanya Roberts completely naked. It's just like, damn it. This is PG.
Yeah, well, PG in the 1980s is different than PG now.
It means nothing now.
Yeah. And it's nothing like the book.
I didn't even know. Up until this moment, I had no idea it was based on a book. So thank you.
I didn't either.
Yeah, of all the book adaptations we've talked about, this one is the least like the book. They're like, okay, it's called The Beastmaster, and there's a guy that can communicate with animals. That's it. It's a sci-fi novel. Andre Norton wrote sci-fi, and speculative fiction. Everything in this movie is sword and sorcery, fantasy. God, I want that Conan money.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Again, not knowing that it was an adaptation, I thought, oh, this is a nice, this is kind of a funny, cheesy, Conan ripoff.
Yeah, which is crazy because Conan came out the same year. There's no way they could have copied Conan.
Well, it's one of those things where they know that everybody's shopping around some, they see a script that gets snapped up and they're like, oh, what's being shopped around that's like this? Like the year that Dante's Inferno and
Volcano came out.
Dante and Volcano came out the same year. Yep,
yeah,
exactly. It's just somebody sees something coming up and they're like, we need that, because it takes long enough to produce something and people know what's going on around them that they're like, we need some of that.
Nice.
Wait, their new line is making a thing about J.R.L. Tolkien. Well, you know who based their stuff on J.R.L. Tolkien is Dungeons and Dragons. Let's get on it right now.
Who's the best English Oscar winner we can find for the money we have? Jeremy Irons? Make it so.
He can eat all the scenery.
Oh, yeah. And yes, he indeed did.
Well, he didn't really bother. Not like he did his Scar.
So this was a fun conversation. I think we'll definitely have to revisit this at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And let's talk about what we're going to do next month, because next month, April, is our traditional Disney month where we do a Disney themed show. And this year, we are going to be talking about video games. So kind of still on the adaptation role here, both good and bad, based on Disney proper property, not Marvel, not Star Wars, not Muppets. Those can be like, there's always like, I bring up Disney and somebody brings up Star Wars. It's like, I'd rather just talk about Star Wars on its own. Stop bleeding into Disney. But we're going to talk a little bit about Disney video games. So think about like any of your favorite animated movies that ended up with a video game tie-in for whatever reason, or part of your Disney afternoon. There were definitely video games made there. Square Enix, I believe, made a series of games.
Oh, God.
Yes.
As well that I'm sure we will talk about. So we will.
I have thoughts.
Oh,
yes,
we all have thoughts.
We know.
Considering how passionate you were about this topic, Joe. So anyway, so we're going to be talking about that. So if you want to get in on that good stuff, you can always message us. We are on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast and at Blue Sky at Geek Salad Radio. If you like what you hear here, and we didn't have anybody in the live feed tonight, so the pro version will be out in a few weeks. You can check that out, not only wherever you get your podcasts, where you're listening to us right now, but also on our YouTube channel. That is also the place where Mike and I host weekly retro movie reviews where we talk about stuff. We are finishing up our talk of Oscar Best Picture Also Rans, which is going to be interesting, and I hope ages terribly for the one we have up this week. But we'll talk about that later. And so you got all that. I went over the social medias. We did all that. Boom, bada, boom, bada, boom. Yeah. So anyway, folks, thank you so much for listening. Until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.
Renew it, reshoot it, redo it, and reuse it, retool it, abuse it, just view it. If you want to make some easy cash, just recycle and rehash, repeat it, restate it, reheat it, recreate it. There's no need to feel frustrated, simply just regurgitate it for a guaranteed rating smash. Dig it up out of the trash, come on, just reboot it.
Now, that is for Ken Branagh's endless, uncut 4-hour version of Hamlet.
Who's Ken Branagh?
I'll tell him you said that, and I think he'll be very hurt.